one who made heaven and earth. You're mighty, stronger than any. One thing that I desire of you, I may dwell here forever. I'm chasing no other. When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me. Father, carry me. When I come to the end of myself, Father, Father, carry me. When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me. Father, carry me. When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me. Father, carry me. Carry me. Praise of the Most High. Celebrate and celebrate. I sing along with you know my foot. My God, you will you carry me on, carry me carry me carry me carry me carry me carry me when I come to the end of myself. Father, you carry me. When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me. Father, carry me.
Ms. Mears?
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, parents. We're about to start our devotional exercise. How great is our God? How great is his name? He's the greatest God, forever the same. He rolled back the water from the mighty Red Sea. He said he'll lead us if we trust in him. At this time, I'll be sharing a song. I hope it will bless your heart. It is entitled You Know My Name by Tasha Cobb.
He knows my, he knows my, he knows my name. Know how he walks with me. So how he talks with me, yeah. And oh, how he tells me I am his own. You know my name. You know my name. You know my name. Mm. You know my name. And oh, how you comfort me. And oh, how you counsel me. Hey, it still amazes me that I am your friend. So now I pour out my heart to you. Here in your presence, I am made. Oh. So now I pour out my heart to you. Give you my heart. Here in your presence, I am made. You know my name. Sing this before you say, you know my name. You know my name. You know my name. See, you know my name. You know my name. Oh, oh, how you talk with me. Oh, how you talk with me. Oh, how you tell that I am your own. I am your own. God, you know me. So I trust you with my life. No fire can burn me. No battle can turn me. No mountain can stop me. You hold my hand. Walking in your victory. Power in me. No giant
You know my You know my name. Oh, how you walk with me. Oh, how you I'm in love with you, Lord. Oh, how you just to commune with you. Oh, how you tell I belong to you. And I am your own. Okay, the scripture reading comes to us from Isaiah 43, verses 1 to 3. But now, thus says the Lord, who created you, O Jacob, and he who formed you, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. This is the word of the Lord. Such powerful words from Isaiah 43, verses 1 to 3. The line that stands out for me in the passage is, I have called you by name, you are mine. It is such a wonderful feeling to know that God knows us and owns us. Colleagues and parents, we are no stranger to God. He cares for us. His love and concern for us, it is detailed and it is personal. He knew us before we were born. He knew the number of children you would have. He knows where you are right now. He knows your thoughts. He knows your background. He knows your needs. He knows just about everything about us. Psalm 138, verse 8 tells us that he chooses to perfect those things that concern us. Do you see how special we are to God? Also in Isaiah 49, verse 16, it states, I have encarved you on the palm of my hand. This shows the depth of God's love towards us. I want to encourage us this afternoon that when the problems are overwhelming, when you don't know where the next meal is coming from or how the bills are going to be paid, always remember that God is able to fix it for us. Let us put our trust in him and know that he will deliver and sustain us. I have a friend so dear to me. His love for me so kind and free. His name is Jesus, Son of God, King of kings and Lord of lords. I have a friend so dear to me. His love for me so kind and free. His name is Jesus, Son of God, King of kings and Lord of all. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we worship you. We honor you. We give you thanks for your goodness towards us. We invite your presence among us this afternoon, for without you, we can do nothing. Bless each and every one present here today. Bless all that we say or do. Attend to our every need as we continue to lean on your promises. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I leave this thought with you. You are precious and valuable to God, who chose you, redeemed you, and loves you as his own. Mrs. Colwright?
Yes, I'm right here, Miss Mears. Mr. Valentines will take over from you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I am Mr. Rudian Valentine of Grade 4V. I want to thank you all for being here today, this evening, sorry. Right, it's a wonderful evening where we can actually meet and discuss things that are pertaining to our students, right, and grow as a group. Now, I would like to ask our principal, Mrs. Barnes Wilson, to bring the principal's remarks. Mrs. Barnes Wilson.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Good afternoon again, parents, colleagues. It is indeed my pleasure to be here this afternoon in this grade 4 meeting. We are really happy to be with you this afternoon, to join with us as partners together, as we have come together in this forum, on this platform, to have a different discussion. And we are indeed delighted that you have decided to partner with us, parents. You have decided to be with us, and we want to thank you. Let me also thank the grade 4 family for organizing this session for you. I know that you will have a wonderful afternoon into evening, and indeed you will be blessed. Let me also remind you, parents, as you listen in, and those that are on our YouTube channel, I know persons are there on the YouTube channel as well. I welcome you as well. And to remind us that in this season that we are in, we have never seen this season before. We have never experienced a pandemic before, but we are still here. Many of us would have lost loved ones. Many of us might be grieving now. Many of us might have had many challenges. Many storms would have come our way as parents, because I am a parent as well. And so we have faced many storms, and we are here. It means that the Lord of hosts is with us, and he has been our guide. So I just want to continue to encourage you to be strong, continue keeping on. And as a member of the family of the OTS Primary School, we are here for you. Let me remind you as well, parents, that we have 3 guidance counselors if it is that you need someone to talk with. Yes, someone to listen. We have 3 guidance counselors here that you can engage. We are also here as teachers and administrators, my vice principals and I. So we are here for you. We are here to be that listening ear that you might need. So you can call us at 974-2432, or you can WhatsApp us at 320-0003. Parents, it's not an easy road. Who think that one? Who feels it knows? But we are in it together, and we are stronger together. So be encouraged. We know some of you might have gone through some really tough times. Yes, I've been through some tough times since the pandemic. I've lost my mother and lost my mother-in-law, and then immediately after that was my aunt. Tough times, indeed tough times, but God remains faithful. And I want to encourage you, keeping on. Some of you have just started back to work. Yes, you have been through it. and some of you might be at work. Be strong, yes, and be resolute that we will continue to stay the course with God. Be resolute that we will continue amidst the trials. Some of you might not have the connectivity at times, and you might not be able to guide your children the way you would have wanted to, but be strong, be focused, and know that the Lord of hosts is with us. Let me also encourage you, parents, as I take my exit, we are still on to answer question at the end of it, to remember to be in the know. Yes, you're the greatest influencer for your child or children. Be in the know. Check in regularly with your children. Yes, check-ins are very important, and let them know that you're checking the Google Classroom. You ask the questions. Yes, some persons might not understand. Like for me, I did not understand the high school thing that they're doing in chemistry and physics. I didn't understand any of those. But guess what I did? I checked in with my son when I leave Oak Ridge Primary at 7 o'clock at night. I go in and I said, what happened? Book on the iron board. And I checked in with somebody who knows that. My sister who teaches the sciences. So you have to know, find the personnel, call on your teacher, privately inbox your teacher. And if you don't know, your teacher will help you. I know that my teachers here at the 5-Star School of Excellence, they go above and beyond many times, and they will continue. So thank you again for joining, and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon into evening. Thank you, Mr. Valentine.
Thank you so much, Madam Principal. We just want to thank her for those powerful words, right? Powerful words of encouragement. I hope that we will take these encouragement and hold them dear to our hearts. All right, I also want to mention that we have provided for you all parents. We have provided a Google form for you. So if you have any questions, I'm going to ask that you post all those questions on the Google form. At the end, we will be answering these questions. All right, so don't be afraid to ask the question that you have, burning questions actually. So please don't be afraid to ask these questions. All right, go over to the Google Forms that the teachers will be providing for you. At this time, we will be having an address from the guidance counselor. Guidance counselor. Is the guidance counselor here at this moment? All right, so we have a series of discussions coming up. These range from mathematics to language arts, even to ICT, meaning information and communication technology. All right, I know that persons may be having issues with one or even all of these aspects, right? So we're going to be going into a series of discussion, or not really discussion, but presentation, sorry. And we're going to be starting with mathematics, where Ms. Green shall be presenting aspects of mathematics to you, all right? So we're going to be starting with Ms. Green, that will be presenting on mathematics.
Good afternoon, my parents. Good afternoon, my colleagues. Good afternoon, one and all. Happy you were able to join us today. I am happy that you were able to join us today. All right. Now, this evening, my task is to share some information with you, math, but I am going to add science as well to it, math and science. So I'm just going to share some information with you, parents. All right, just gonna have a short discussion. All right, so we're gonna be talking a little about math and science. All right, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, Miss, go right ahead.
All right. Now, parents, let's talk a little about math. Now, math or mathematics is a powerful tool, and we know that it is used globally. It's a tool for global understanding and communication that organize our entire lives and everything that we do. It also prevents chaos and confusion. Just think about it. What would we do without math? Think about it. Just for a second. You can imagine if there was no math to measure the table or even to give you even medicine. Think about it. So when you speak of mathematics, it helps us to understand the entire world. And it provides an effective way of building mental discipline. Now, parents, I want you to pass on these information to your students. Encourage them sometimes when they feel sad about the math. Say, listen to me. You know that maths help us to understand the entire world. Everything that we do relates to math, right? Math encourages us to think, to reason, critical thinking. It also helps us to do abstract or spatial thinking, problem solving. We have the ability to solve problems when you're talking about mathematics, and it's a very effective way to communicate. So math is powerful, math is everywhere. So guess what? Everybody needs to get on board. I don't want anybody to be telling their child, oh, math, I didn't like it when I go to school. No. All right. So we are going to say some positive words to our students. We're going to encourage them. We're going to tell them the need of mathematics and that we cannot do without it. Even right now, some math is taking place. The amount of time that I'm spending to talk to you, or the amount of time that you are using to talk with me, math again. Math is everywhere. Now, there are some challenges that we're having with math. In class, we have at times students are without tools or resources. So you might need a ruler, they might not have a ruler. Students, parents, we can improvise. Guess what? You can make the ruler, you know. You can make the ruler. They have some that is not so expensive, less than $50. I bought a ruler for $35 in Ocho Rios. Yes, we need to help our children with the tools that they need. So tools are very important when it comes to math, hands-on practice. It's not only just talk, but hands-on work. All right. Now, some of the challenges we are having reading. It's a pretty sore point. We have children who have a difficult time with reading, and therefore, guess what? The way the question is structured, it's not that they don't know it, you know, but guess what? They're unable to read. So parents, let us help them with the reading as we do our part at school. Let us help them, because reading, I tell you, maths is everything. So you might say, reading and math, yes, they goes hand in hand. Another challenge, practice. Whoa. When you talk about math, you talk about practice, 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 and you keep going. You can't do the maths today and tomorrow you don't bother with it. No, you have to practice. And we have to be honest, you know, some of us weakness, why we didn't really like the maths is because we really didn't spend time to really practice it, you know. Because I know that the set of teachers that we have at Ocho Rios Primary, languages don't get jealous now, but especially for math, we have it locked. So guess what? Parents, get on board with us and help your child, help your children to practice the math. We have to get that in. Today, they get the work, teachers expected them to go back and look over. Nothing. They didn't look over, so they don't understand, right? And that is as a result, because of lack of practice, they have a difficult time to remember facts, right? They have a difficult time remembering the concept and the rules, because when you talk about math, we have to remember the concept and the rules and the procedures and so on. No, practice is very important. Timetable, whoa. When you used to go to school, I know some of you would say, yes, man, teacher used to beat your bottom if you don't know your timetable. So hello, my parents, why are we not helping our children to do our timetable? Come on, parents, let's work on the timetable. Do it with them. Said, all right, this week, we're going to learn the 2 times. Yes, man. Next week, we're going to try the 3 times. You don't get it, you go back. And you keep trying and you're trying. But when it comes on to math, we must practice. All right, parents? No, mathematics is our everyday life. Everyday life. When you go in the kitchen, it's math. Go ahead, parents, and type in the chat. Come on, talk to me. I don't want the only one talking today. I might ask somebody to read the comments if I'm not seeing them. Tell me some of the things that or every day where math is involved. Tell me some of the things at home, at work. Type something, parents, in the chat. Go ahead and tell me some of the areas that you can find math. Or if you want to share the importance of math, go ahead and type, whether you're on YouTube or you're on the Zoom platform. All right, so math helps us to develop thinking, right? It helps us to explain ourselves. It helps us to develop wisdom. Hello, when you talk about smart, when you hear a child explain a concept, this is what happened. And this is step 1. Then step 2, when you hear a child explain a mathematics concept, it allows you to become smarter. You're able to think. All right? Hello, money, and some of us love it, right? Money can be collected in math. When you talk about money, it's very important. It's very, very important that we know that math is everywhere. So guess what? You see, if we get excited, parents, just as how the teachers are excited, come on, our students will be excited. And guess what? I need to help me at grade 4. We need to move math to another level. And guess what? I need team effort, teamwork. So don't tell the child, I don't like maths and maths too hard. Work with the child, man. YouTube videos, right? Watch the YouTube videos and both of you sit together. There are many different types of video you can choose. Type in the topic and it will give you an idea. Go there, right? Go there and see what's happening. All right, telling the time. Yes, Ferguson, of course. Units of measurement. Using chemicals at work. Whoa. What we talking about? Math. All right. Measurement. Units of measurement. Thank you. Conducting meetings. Hello. Keeping a schedule. What we talking about? Woo. Math. Elgado's mom. We use math when cooking. Talk about math. Hello. Grade 4 parents. Let's get on board. We need to improve our math result. But guess what? Teacher alone can't do it. I need my parents to help us to push the math. Math result must go up because math is everything. Math is everywhere. Thank you, my parents, for sharing. Right? So let's get on board. Let's get the math. It's important. It's important. We need it. It's everywhere. It's everything. It's a part of our everyday life. So let's guess what? Change our attitude and let's work with our child or children to improve our math result. And you promise me you're on board and know my parents are on board with me, because this year, math, we have to take math to another level. When they ask you to do things in the kitchen, take them with you, parents, right? When I'm doing, sometime the other day I was doing in class measurement, and I had my parents outside playing games, involved in the math lessons. Yes, man. So when the child get the work, you and them go outside, find something, get something and show them tangible, let them understand. You're talking about liter, take them in the cupboard. Yes, measurement. So we have to get involved, my parents, because math is everything. If you follow me, I'll take the whole day, because math is my passion, my heartbeat. All right, moving on. All right, so there are 5 strands in math. We have numbers, measurement, geometry, statistics, and algebra. So from time to time, what you'll see happen that we will change strands. So maybe 2 days we do numbers, the other day maybe measurement, and so on. All right, so don't be afraid to Google, don't be afraid to YouTube, find out what is happening and work around our students improving our math results. Now, these are the books, parents. Now, the new integrated mathematics approach, that's what I'm using. We're using a grade 4 and others. They might not use it directly, but I know some use for 4 Mears and 4 Green, we use this book. Parents, it's no problem if you go and you even get the book. It's additional practice. Now, they have this book on rental. You can, not everybody have access to it. So what we'll try to do sometimes, we try to put information in the classroom. So those are the books. If you need the titles, yes, you can get them from your different class teachers. All right, math is fun and we like it. Woo, woo. All right, that's it for math. Just touching a little on science. Let's talk. Now, science has led us to finding out things. So experiment, exploring, the whys, and some of you have those scientists at home, I'm telling you, why this happened, how. Those are science students. When they ask questions, don't tell them they're fast. Try to tell them the answers. So science has led us to finding out things and giving us, and math and science, they work together. Right? We use a STEM approach where we speak of science, technology, engineering, right? And mathematics. We use those approaches, we integrate them together. So when you're doing a little science, you'll find out that math is coming out somewhere, right? So in fact, without science, we would not have any electricity. They go hand in hand, math, science, your telephone you're using, your mobiles, internet, Zoom, takes some form of science for us to be here today. Facebook, Twitter, those things that we love, television, cars, all those things around us. So this is what I want you to do for my parents. This is how we have to bring it across to our children. Let them know it's important, that they need these things. Why do I need to do science? Why do I need to do math? We have to share this knowledge with them. No, our cars, our soaps, cooking, everything around us, iron, science. And when you think about it, math and science comes hand in hand. All right? You work it out, the engineering part of it, right? The math part is there about the science. How did this work? All right? So science, it's a part of our everyday life. So we need to get our children involved. And we parents also try our best to be involved. Now, these are the books that we're using presently, the integrated approach, and we are all using the first steps they got for rental. Some persons might not have it. What we do, we share the information with you. All right, we try to share the information with you. Closing out, parents, you might say, Lord Jesus, so many information. How can I help? Guess what? Just talk with your children, your child. Families, we can help, and we can help to develop critical thinking, help to develop their reasoning skill by asking them questions. Talk with them. What do you think will happen? Talk to them. What do you think will happen? What do you think? Why it ended that way? Why? Why did it end that way? That's science, How do you think things will be different if we change something? All right. So these are little tips. Talk with them, reason with them, encourage them, right? Be a part of their daily activities when it comes to math and science. Be there for them. All right. Have a great evening and thank you.
Powerful words there from Miss Green. You know, this brings me back to what Paul Hammer says, right? He says the only way to learn math is to do math, right? And Miss Green spoke about math being in everything, but guess what is also in everything? Language arts as well, not true? Because a lot of times, you know, we have to read to understand the questions, right? And so at this point in time, I want Miss N. Brown, right, to speak to us on matters concerning language arts. And I want you to pay very close attention, all right? Very close attention, because the way we speak is the way we write, right? And our students, they're paying attention to everything that we say. And a lot of times, the way that they speak is the way that they write. So Miss Brown will now be coming to us to speak on language arts.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Good evening, parents and colleagues. It is my pleasure to speak with you this afternoon on language arts and social studies. And yes, you may think, okay, I'm going to speak only about language arts, but no. Our subjects at grade 4 are paired. So we have teachers teaching in teams. So you'll have teacher for maths and science, and then you have another teacher for language arts and social studies. So our language arts and social studies team is made up of Mrs. Colwright, Miss Mears, Mr. Valentine, and myself, Miss Brown. Okay. So let me give you a little information about language arts. Just give me a minute, please. Language arts is made up of 6 strands or group. These are listening and speaking, and it is yes, listening and speaking. And it is important for our students to learn the rules. I'm so sorry about that. It is important for our students to learn the rules for listening and speaking. They have to learn the terms to know that when someone else is speaking, the right thing for us to do is to listen so that we will understand what they want to know from us so we can provide that information. Another strand for language arts is fluency and recognition, word recognition and vocabulary development. So with this strand, you will see where our students are taught letter sounds, the letter names, how to blend the sounds together, how to read words. Then we move on to reading for meaning and enjoyment. That's comprehension. Comprehension involves analyzing and interpreting the information that is read and to make your conclusion so that you can respond to what you read or what you hear. Then we have reading for information, which is research and study skills. And you will see your child learning how to use the table of contents, how to use the dictionary and the various text features. You will see they are learning how to find the main idea when they read so that they will know the main parts, the most important concept in whatever they read or hear. Because language arts is not only about what we hear, read. So it is more than one thing. We read and we have to listen so we can reply and respond correctly. It also have to do with grammar and convention. So when we talk about singular and plural, we talk about our parts of speech that has to do with grammar. And communication, writing. Now, One of the challenges we are having, some of our students are not practicing to write. And with writing, it's not only about the handwriting, it's about writing stories, writing letters. And we are moving into letter writing. So I'm asking parents to please to help your child to write their address so that we can help them along the way. Next on our agenda is some language arts challenges students may have. And you will see your child having one or more than one of these challenges. You will see that they have problems identifying the letter names or making the correct letter sounds. They may have challenge blending the sounds, so putting the different letter sounds together, like the blends, BL. So to know B goes B, L goes L, put them together, we get B. Sight words. Now, sight words are words that they cannot sound out, is words that they practice to know. So whenever they see these words, they'll know that IS is, so without sounding it. Spelling, another problem issue they may have. Reading. And when I talk about reading, it's not just about calling the words, but understanding what all of these words come together when you read them, what it meant. So it's to have to comprehend so they understand the meaning. And as I said, writing, so challenges even with their penmanship. So now we will put tasks in our classrooms and some students choose to edit even those activities that are supposed to be written. So I'm going to ask the parents to help us to encourage them to do writing. All right, so the ability to read, understand, and use language arts is at the core of everything you do. So however you learn, you must understand. And as my colleague, Mrs. Green said before, that reading is very important for mathematics. There are questions that your child will get for mathematics, and if they are not able to read, they won't be able to answer the questions, because if they can't read, they can't comprehend it, they don't know what the teacher is asking. So we start with letters, and letters form words. Those words then form sentences, and we use those sentences to form paragraphs. Then we continue to extend. Once we are able to form paragraphs, we can use those paragraphs to form chapters. And then when we look in books, we see that our books are made of chapters. Just want you to know that a sentence is like your body. There are different parts, and for the parts to function or work properly, they must be properly connected. Here I have for you some tips. And these are ways a parent can help a child learn to read. So I will just be going through a few of them, and we will send this around in your WhatsApp groups. 1, let your child see you reading. So you have to demonstrate. You can't just say to them, go and read. You have to show. So that day, you, as it is, practice what you preach. You look for appropriate word and reading games online to play with your child. So not all games, some of us may say games are bad, but not all games are bad, because we can find learning games there. So if your child is having problems with letter sounds, letter names, or reading, we can go to Play Store, and there are a number of games we can use to help with that. All right, you can also visit your public library regularly. So even though most places have scaled down operations, but our library is still open. So you can visit now and again with your child. And in most of our classes, if not all, we have an online library. So make use of that resource with your child. Okay, so just touching a little on social studies. Social studies is also divided into 4 themes or strands. Our heritage, that is, when we talk about our culture, we talk about the Tainos. We looked at the different groups that came to Jamaica, living together, or we get along. We looked at we will be looking at the physical environment and its impact on human activities. So we learn about our various landforms, our landforms, our mountains, hills, valleys, and plain, and all of that, and how our activities rely on them. And we talk about diversity, interdependence, and sustainability in nature and society. So how do we impact our environment? How do we get along? How do we use these to work for us? Now on my screen, I am showing you the textbooks that we use, and I'm showing the 2 that are supposed to be bought by the parents. The Carlong Social Studies is not here, and why I didn't put it here is because that is a rental, and so I know some persons may not have that book at this time, and we share that information in Google Classroom. Here we have the Language Tree Workbook 4, and it's used in all classes. The Jamaica Primary Social Studies is used from group 1 to 6, and you can ask your teachers for the names and any other book that they may be using at this time. Now, so I want to wrap up by giving you some sites and apps that can be used to help your child, and also books. All right, YouTube. YouTube can be very helpful as there are lots of learning videos. There are videos here to address all these reading challenges, these language art challenges that I have mentioned before. But I encourage you that do not just give them the device and say, go on YouTube. Monitor them, as there are other things on YouTube that can be harmful. Book Fusion. You can go to Google Play Store and download the Book Fusion app. It's from the Ministry of Education. It has a lot of storybooks, there are comprehension questions, and there are read aloud activities where your child can hear persons reading those stories. And there are stories at all different reading levels. Learning games and apps, you will find those in your Play Store. You will find some also on Google. Live worksheets. Your child, for example, did a topic today on nouns. You can go on Google and type in live worksheets for nouns, and you will get a listing of worksheets that you can go through with your child. And the good thing about live worksheets, even if you are not sure about the answer, the worksheet marks it for you, so you will see what the correct answers and what questions your child have gotten incorrect, so you can work on that. Atlas. This is a very important book, and their atlas takes you throughout life. It will take you to high school and even to college based on the area you're doing. Your atlas is your dictionary to take you around the world. It gives you different place names. It shows you physical features. It shows the countries and their capitals and even their flags. As I said before, Google, you can go on Google. For example, you don't understand a topic that your child is doing, your child needs more information, you go on Google and you do your research. It has a lot of information that can help you. And dictionaries. So instead of telling your child every word they ask you what it means, you can use the dictionary and say, let's take a dictionary tour. Let your child look in the dictionary for the word meaning, discuss it with them and their examples. So instead of telling them, guide them to find the information on their own. Thank you all for listening, and I wish for you an enjoyable evening. Over to you, Mr. Valentine.
All right, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Yes, it was, right? And I want to ask to all the question parents, right? Have you ever had issues uploading work or even knowing how to upload the work? Or is it that at times you think you have uploaded the work, but the teacher says that there is no work given? Type it in the chat, yes or no for me. Have you ever tried uploading work and thinking that yes, the work is uploaded, or the child doesn't know how to upload the work? All right, I'm seeing some no's here. All right. Well, it goes a little bit further, right? Where we're going on to ICT, right? Someone that is, very, 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 very knowledgeable in this particular area. I'm talking about no other person than Mr. Cummins, all right? So for persons that are having issues, the email issues, the password issues, all right, Mr. Cummins will be talking about all of this, all right? So right about now, in this moment, I hand over to Mr. Cummins. All right, I see on YouTube where persons are saying, yes, they have problems. We know you have problems, all right? So we're going to discuss it now with Mr. Cummins. All right, we're going to try and sort out all of those issues, all of the email issues, all of the password issues, all right? All right, it seems as if he's not here. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to go to Miss Brown for Healthy Lifestyles. All right, so Miss Brown with Healthy Lifestyles.
All right, thank you, Mr. Valentine. Good afternoon, parents, or good evening, rather. Good afternoon, colleagues. All right, so this evening I'll be sharing with you a few tips on healthy lifestyle. Oh. All right, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. Healthy lifestyle. What is a healthy lifestyle? Healthy lifestyle is a way of living that lowers the risk of being seriously ill or dying early. Healthy eating habits. Now, eating breakfast on time. Now, we all know that breakfast is the first meal of the day, right? Breakfast is very important. Now, parents, we're having a little problem, right? So we have some students eating breakfast while on class. So I am encouraging you parents to prepare your child or children breakfast on time, right? So if your child is supposed to log on at 8 o'clock, let them have their breakfast by 7 o'clock or 7:15 there about, right? Breakfast helps students to focus, right? Because you know that it is the first meal of the day, so it provides the body with the energy, right, to go throughout the day. Next, eating dinner on time. I say this to say that students should go to their bed on time, right? So parents, when you prepare their dinner on time, they should go to their bed on time as well, right? Because we know that getting adequate rest is necessary, right? When we get enough rest, it repairs the body tissue, right? It helps a person to be ready for the next day. And we would want that for our children, right? Getting adequate rest also helps students to be focused. Fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are important, right? It provides the body with the important nutrients. Fruits and vegetables maintain good health since they are low in calories and fat, right? Then we move to water. Our body loses water through sweating, through urinating, and other. So it is important to rehydrate our body. We need water to maintain bodily functions such as digestion, right? So as parents, I encourage you to give your child or children water, right? Now, these are some pictures of healthy food. So we have vegetables, we have a bowl of porridge, water. We have another dish here that has rice and peas, vegetables, chicken, right? So parents, I encourage you to prepare healthy food for your child or children. Then we move to the next tip, which is physical activity. Now, what is physical activity? Physical activity is any form of exercise or movement of the body that uses energy. Now, whatever your age, physical activity plays an important part in your health and well-being. Now, parents, sometimes your child or children will sit around the TV or the video game, playing video games or watching movies for 3 hours or more. So parents, what you need to do is to limit the amount of time they spend watching movie or playing video games, right? So for instance, if they are watching for 3 hours, you can limit the amount of time. So they'll watch for like 1 hour, then go outside, play, or you can even let them go on YouTube, type in workout videos, and you'll see a lot there, right? So you can join them, you can work out with them on YouTube, right? So some physical activities we have here: climbing the stairs, walking briskly, jogging, right? And it depends on the time that you are available, right? So you can do it in the morning, in the evening, right? We also have a workout session here at Ocherous Primary. So on Wednesdays at 5 p.m., we have workout session for parents and teachers. And on Thursdays, we have workout session for students. So parents, I encourage you to join on and encourage your student or your child or children to join these sessions. All right, now some importance of physical activities are prevent obesity. And I am sure that you are aware of some importance as well. Prevents heart disease. It maintains weight, or you can lose weight, right? It depends on what you want to do. Good. All right, now these are some pictures of parents doing physical activities with their children. All right, so in one picture, you can see that they're dancing, others jogging or playing with a ball. All right, to end my presentation, I'll be doing a short workout session. So please get yourselves ready. Hold on, give me a second. All right.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jauhana, Alhulana, Alhulana, Ilondoloze,
Alright, go into the side. Reach up.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, tungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, tungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, ubuso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, uhambe nami.
2, 1. Marching. All right, jumping jacks again. Let's go.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, tungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, tungangishilana. Dawo yami
5,
ayikholana,
4,
ubuso wami awukholana.
2.
Ilondoloze,
Right.
uhambe
All right, we're
nami.
going to stretch up,
Dawo yami
pulling our body down.
ayikholana,
Stretch up,
ubuso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, uhambe nami.
up one more time. Right. All right, that is the end of my presentation. I will now hand over to Mr. Valentine.
Teacher, you make me tired.
All right. All right. I hope you have enjoyed that little exercise. Woo. All right. With that being said, I see where Mr. Cunningham is now online. We're not teaching at all this evening. All right. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to hand over now to Mr. Cunningham. So call in Mr. Cunningham as it pertains to ICT. Call in Mr. Cunningham as it pertains to ICT. All right, he's not here. He's not here. So with that, we move on to our guest speaker of this evening. All right, a very eloquent speaker, right? A very wonderful teacher, one that we all look up to, I can assure you. That is no other person than Mrs. Paul Richards. So anyway that you are, please put your hands together and make her welcome. Mrs. Powell Richards.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Okay. Let's get things straight. Good evening, parents. Good evening, my fellow colleagues. It's another day to give God thanks and praise, and I'm so happy that we are here. Miss Brown? Miss Brown?
Which one?
I think you're presenting.
T. Brown.
PE? PE Brown. All right. Well, parents, this evening I'm going to start off with a song, and you can dance to this rhythm. You can dance to this rhythm, parents. And we're going to begin because in times like these, we need this upliftment. All right. So we are going to start off. You can dance. Yes, parents. In times like these, this is what we need. Just remember. Just remember. God is standing. Need to cry. God is standing by. And don't cry.
Good night, everyone.
Don't cry. Just remember, God is standing by. God is standing by. Oh, need to cry. God is standing. All right, don't you worry, don't you cry, parents. Don't you worry, don't you cry, because God is standing by. And this is my encouragement to you today. Don't you worry, don't you cry, because God is standing by. All right, parents. Now this afternoon, in times like these, we have to know that God is standing by. When we are parents, trust me, because these times, we never know that we would live to see these times. These times, we never know that we would live to see these times. Today, I was at a funeral online, and I say, imagine, I didn't know I would live to see this time when I would be attending funeral online. Right? So parents, these times we have to know that God is standing by. When the pressure get hard, when the people them start give problem, we have to know that God is standing by, because God is the only one that can take us through. Right? This job called parenting is no easy one. It's not a walkover. So don't let nobody tell you anything and tell you that, oh, you are not trying. It did not come with a manual. Being a parent never come with a manual. You can't go check up a book and say, this is what I will do for my child. If you have 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter how many children you have, parents, all your children, all of them, every one of them is unique. They are unique. So don't say John is like Tom or Tom is like Mary. No, they are all unique. So you have to find different methods to deal with every one of them, how difficult that can be. But parents, as parents, there are certain things that we need to show them. In times like now, it is Parents Month. The month belongs to us, because I'm putting myself in it now, because I am also a parent. The month belongs to us, right? So we are all special people. Not only are we special in this month, we are always special in the sight of God. Parents, you can always consult him in anything that you do, trust me, right? He will help you. So you can always consult him in situations. But you know what we have to also do as parents? We have to live the life that we want our children to emulate, right? Positive parenting impacting generations. That's the top topic for this Parent Month. And as I go through parents, I just want to point out to you some key words as it comes on to parenting. The P in parenting, plan for parenthood. Plan for parenthood. How is it that we are going to plan for parenthood? We have to research some of the things that we as parents know, because trust me, some of the things that are on the internet now, we didn't know those things. We didn't know those things, but we have to plan for anything that happens. None of us planned for COVID, but what happened? We have to put in, right? So if we didn't plan, if our minds as parents were not in that mode, we had to get into that mode, right? Because we had to be there for our children. We had to be there to help them, to maneuver the Google Classroom, to maneuver the Google Meet, to maneuver the Zoom platform, all those things. So we had to have a plan. We have to have a backup plan, parents. Right? So we have these children nowadays, sometimes they can become so tricky, and they believe that we are old school and we don't remember these things. So sometimes they come with some things, you see? They're going to come with some things. And if it is that we don't plan for them, remember we're going to fall, because they're going to wrap us up around them little finger. So parents, we have to plan for parenthood. We have to be positive. We have to be positive. Give the children positivity. Let them feel the positive vibes around, right? Let them know when they have positive vibe, a positive mind, parents will build your children's self-esteem. And when that building, when that's high enough, remember, say nobody can break your children. Nobody can break your child. Once that self-esteem is up there, nobody can break that. And so I want you to be positive. Tell them positive things. Help them along, right? Sometimes it's difficult, especially when they give you a problem in a man. You really can't find nothing positive to say now. But before you say anything, bite your lip. Bite your lip before you say anything that you're going to regret, right? And just count to 10 or 20. If you find, say you count to 10 and it's not working, continue until you calm down. But be positive, because this will help your child in developing, all right? A is for accountability, parents. Not only are we accountable to to our children, but we are also accountable to God. These children were given to us by God. They are gifts. Your children or your child is a gift. See your child as a gift from God. And because of that, we are held accountable for what we do. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go, so that when he's old, he will not depart from it. It doesn't matter what they want to do, what lifestyle they want to go in when they become adults. They will always remember the little advice that mommy gave them or the little advice that daddy gave to them. So parents, I am asking you to make sure that you train your children in the way that they should go, so that when they are old, they will not depart from it, because God is going to hold you accountable for the things that you do to these little ones. Our parents, respect. Show it, teach it, and earn it. Show it, teach it, and earn it. I did not just say earn it, but I also say that you should show it and you should teach it. And parents, when you show respect, you are actually teaching it to your child or your children. You're actually teaching them, right? So once you show respect, I know the teacher will upset you. I know other persons will upset you, parents, but be respectful. Be respectful, because your child or your children is watching you. And however you come across, it's the same way that your child or your children will come across to others. So show respect. Show respect. Let them have manners. Let them know to say good morning. I like when I'm having my class and when I ask a child to say something and he say or no, and I hear the parent in the background saying, no, miss, or yes, miss, you know? So I like that. You know, at least you're teaching your child what it is that they are supposed to do, because they will come out of line, you know. But when they know that mommy or daddy is there to try to rein them back, they will eventually adjust. All right, parents? So we are at E. We are at E. Example. Example. Set a good one. Set a good one. Because you want that when your child goes out there, that child is a representation of who you are. That child is a representation of where he or she is coming from. Because it doesn't matter, even if they go on the road and they want to follow friends, you know, they're going to be looking over across them shoulder, you know, because they don't want nobody to them to go tell mommy or daddy, you know, because they know how their parents live. They know that the example that their parents set is a good one. Parents, use no to them. Use it. I mean it, parents. You're not unkind when you tell your child no. If you don't have something, tell them no, I don't have it. If you can give them at a later date, you say, okay, I'll try and give you at a later date. But and try to stick to what you say so that they can develop this trust in you. All right? So set that example for your children to follow. Parents, this we can't talk about this too much. We can't talk about this too much. We are at N, the no that I just mentioned. Say no. I mean no. We can't talk about it too much. Say no, I mean no, so that when they go on road, parents, when they go on the road and somebody wants to give them something, they will know that my mother or my father said, no, I could not have it. So they develop this thing that, you know, I can say no, I can say no. And when my parents say no, they don't have something, I am to understand that they do not have it. It's not everything that your child said in the he or she wants, you should give it to him or her. It's not everything. It's not every weekend when they say they want KFC, you go carry them down KFC, go buy it, because you know it's not healthy for them. You know it's not healthy. You can give them as a treat, yes, but you know it's not healthy to give them. So tell them no, right? And stick to your no. Don't let them come and wring your arm and say, oh, mommy, this, that, I will wash the plate for 1 week. I will do this. I will tidy my room. I will, no means no. so that they are able to accept no from others. They will be able, so when they become adults now and somebody say no, they will understand what no means, right? No means maybe. No means maybe, right? And I see in the chat where somebody said, even when you can afford it, say no. Yes, even when you can afford it, say no. And stick to your no, because no mean maybe, all right? So don't say no and later on you go and give them. Or the father might say no and later on mommy give them. Or mommy might say no and later on daddy gives them. No. Parenting must be together, because that is how you're going to achieve. All right? T, talk. Talk with them. Listen to them. Be open-minded and willing to learn. Talk to your children. Talk to them. When they ask a question, don't tell them no foolishness. Don't tell them no foolishness. These children are smart. These children are smarter than when we were growing up. The things that our parents could have said to us back in those days, we cannot tell our children that today, because they are smart. The internet is at their fingertips. We didn't have that. Some of us did not have that, right? So the internet now is at their fingertips. So anything that they want to know, they can always go on the internet, but you don't want the internet to tell them. So talk. When they ask you something, talk to them, right? Be open-minded. It doesn't matter what they come with, parents. There is no question that is above anything. There is no question. I better believe there's big people question and little people question. Questions are questions. And when they ask you questions, answer them in an intelligent manner so that they will know how to respond to others. All right? Because if you don't teach them these things, somebody else is going to do that. And you don't want somebody else outside to tell them, because they might tell them the wrong thing. They might tell them something that you don't want them to know, or you don't want them to hear in a different, in that way. You probably don't want them to hear in that way. So it's best if you talk to them and be open-minded when they talk, when you talk to them, and listen to them, listen to your children. Sometimes just be quiet. Just be quiet, parents, and just listen. All when them make up a noise in the place, just listen. Sometimes just listen to the noise and listen to how they converse with each other, right? Sometimes when they have their friends around, listen, because that is how we are going to learn. All right, involve them and be involved in their lives. That's the I. Involve them and be involved in their lives. Let them feel important. Nothing feel good so when you feel important. When you feel that somebody loves you, somebody wants you around, nothing feel good so. Nothing feels good so. And it gives your children or your child a sense of security. So they don't have to go run away. They don't have to run away because they know mommy and daddy loves them, right? So it gives them a sense of security. Involve yourself in their schoolwork. Make sure you know what is happening on Google Classroom. Make sure you know what they are doing when they say that they're on Google Meet, because some of them not on Google Meet, you know. Some of them playing games. So make sure you know exactly what is happening, right? Make sure you know, you talk to the teachers, know what they are doing in class. Sometimes I hear parents in my class, they are beside, I know that they are there, you know. I know that they are there helping the child or the children, right? Some of you cannot be there because you have to be out at work. But when you get in, say to them, what it is that you did today. Be involved, parents, involved, because when you're involved, a child will know that they can't fool with you. They can't fool with mommy. They can't fool with daddy, because guess what? My mother or my father is going to check to see that my work is done. So make sure you are involved and notice them. Notice your children. Look at what they do. Look at how they behave, because sometimes a child might, especially in this situation now, when they are locked down at home, notice them. Because there are sometimes that a child might be going through something and might not say, but because you are noticing the change in behavior, you will be able to identify that something is wrong. So I am asking you, parents, notice them. There are children that are young as 8 years old that are committing suicide because of this time. Some of them are very unhappy. Notice the behavior change in your child. Notice them. All right? G. We're at G now. All right, and we're at the last point. And it says, give of your time, give love, give yourself spare time and pamper yourself, parents. Not feel guilty. You can't just have the parents, so I now look after yourself. Then what will happen to we? What will happen? We are going to drop down and dead. So guess what? Even though you're giving your time to your children, please give some time to yourself. Please take care of your mental health. That is key. If you don't take care of your mental health in a time like now, trust me, we're going haywire. So parents, don't feel guilty about taking breaks. Don't feel guilty about locking yourself away in your room for 10 minutes and just being with you. Don't feel guilty. You are not neglecting your child or your children. You are just having some me time. Don't feel guilty to just go to Ochi by yourself and just sit and just have an ice cream. Don't feel guilty about that. Take time for you, because if you don't look after yourself, if we don't look after ourselves, who will take care of our children? And I'm sure none of us want to die and leave them for the world to take care of them. We want to be here to see them. We want to be here to be with them. And so parents, I'm asking you to take care of not just your child or your children, but take care of yourself. Okay, parents? And this is my little encouragement for this evening. And remember, God is always standing by. He will never leave you. He will always be with you. He has provided for the birds of the air. Remember, we were created in the likeness and image of God. We are special in His sight. Parents, God will take care of us. Trust Him. Take Him by His word, because He is true to His words. Those are my few words and encouragement to you this evening. Have yourself a blessed evening. Enjoy the rest of Parent Month. It belongs to us.
Amen and amen. What can I say? This cake is well baked, right? The icing and everything about it is well. It's just perfect. All right, parents? I hope you have taken a little piece out of what she has said, right? Don't overwork yourself. Take some time for yourself. All right? All right, parents? All right, parents?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
So true.
All right. So I hope you're not overworking yourself now. All right.
Yes,
All work and no play.
Make
Make Jacka done what?
Make Jack a done boy.
Amen
All
to
right.
that.
All right. So all work and no play. Not because your parents, you need time for yourself.
True.
Right? When you use a battery, you have rechargeable batteries, right? When you use it for too long and it goes down, you need to what? Plug it in, not true. It needs to get back all of that electricity, not true. Charge up, just charge up, man, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Amen.
All right.
Amen to that.
So I hope you're taking out your part out of it. All right? And at this time, I turn over to Mrs. Fulbright.
Dashien, the teacher time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Thank you, teachers. Mrs. Barnes. Mrs. Barnes-Wilson, Vice Principals, Mrs. Johnson and Ms. Green, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders, good evening. My task today is to keep you abreast of some of the challenges and the good times of the grade. Yes, we have good moments, as some of our parents who work with us, as well as some of our students. Thumbs up, parents. I know you were thrown into the new normal situation like us as teachers, but you work with us and you help us and you communicated freely with us. Thumbs up. However, the grade has some challenges that I would like to highlight. One, the behavior of our students. Some students are not showing respect for teachers and fellow students. They have their mics on, and sometimes when you mute them, they unmuted themselves. And so we as teachers, we spend a lot of time telling them muting mics. We spend a lot of time disciplining the students. And also with the mics open, we can hear everything that is happening in the background, right? And so parents, you have to provide a quiet place for your children. Sometimes when the mics are on, you hear music, car passing by, people talking in the background. You hear every conversation that is happening in the background. And so parents, you have to be aware of what is happening in your child's classroom, because anywhere your child is, that is where the classroom is. So you have to be aware. So teachers knows about a lot of things that is happening behind the scene. Yes, so you have to be very careful. It is very important for you to provide a quiet place for them, free from distractions and the noise. And you know, in addition to this, sometimes when you ask a child a question and they really wanted to answer, teacher have to say, mute your mic, I cannot hear anything. Because what is happening around there, we cannot let it come out to the front to distract the other students and also the teachers. And so sometimes, you know, I just informing you to be careful of what is happening in your background. Another sore point to parents is punctuality that I want to touch on. We all know that school begins at 8 o'clock. Teachers open classroom before 8 o'clock to admit students. And sometimes students are logging in 10:30, 11 o'clock. Parents, this is not right. And it cannot continue, even though you're going to tell me that the term is nearly finished now, but still we have a long way to go. You have to allow students, you have to wake them up, parents. Don't go to work and when I call, you are going to tell me, miss, I'll leave the child in bed. No, parents, no. Wake them up. Give them breakfast on time according to what the PE teacher said, Mrs. Brown. Give them breakfast on time. Wake them up. Help them to be ready for school, right? I can understand when some students have power outages or internet challenges, but we have some students who are what we call habitual latecomers. And every day they come the same excuse. No, parents, this is not acceptable. Students are to be at class on time. And then it is a problem for us as teachers, because when we admit them in the class at certain times, miss, I'm just coming in. Miss, I didn't hear what you said. Miss, what book are you using? Miss, and they continue, and this gets us very disturbed as teachers and destroy the whole lesson, and it affects the lesson delivery. And so parents, remember, you are their leaders, you are their role model, and you lead by example according to what Mrs. Powell Richards said. All right, another sore issue that we are having is absenteeism. Some of our students, I realize they logged in 2 or 3 times for the month, right? When we cannot find them and when we ask guidance to check up on them, sometimes we call the parents, you know, the parents making excuses for the child, right? and bearing in mind that after 2 or 3 days that you're absent, the guidance counselor will have to come and do their checkup. And when you are absent so regularly, then you are unable to do the exam. You cannot deliver the grades that you are supposed to deliver, right? And this also affects the grade 4 data, because you are going to tell me that your child is operating at the mastery level when he or she was in grade 3. But coming to grade 4 now, the child dropped down to non-mastery level. It's not the teacher's fault, parents. Students are not attending classes. And so parents, you have to, it is your responsibility to let them know the purpose of education, right? Let them instill in them the importance of education. My other teachers have talked about the work. Mrs. Paul Richards mentioned about the work. Some students are not logging on. Some log on for half a day. Some log on, and when you call, Paul, they are not there. The devices are there. Students are not there. Some log on. And when you ask a question and you call on a child to answer the question, the child just remove himself or herself from the class because they don't want to answer. No. So these are some of the challenges that we're having, right? And parents, we are telling you that these are some things that you need to work on with your child, right? And don't make excuses for them. Make sure that your child is logged on and they are working. And another factor is that some of the students, they are given devices. Teachers and principal of Ocho Primary make sure that students get devices, and they are still not logging on. When we call them, as I said, parents are still making excuses for them, right? So these students need to log on. What if school doesn't open January? Why, if these students don't log on, what is going to happen to them in the future? So it is very important, parents, for these children to log on, right? It is your responsibility to ensure that your child is educated, as they are tomorrow's future. We as teachers, we cannot do no more than what we are doing. We call the parents, yes. We try to communicate with the different stakeholders, yes, but you as parents, you have your responsibility. Mrs. Paul Richards said, be involved. You have to be involved in your child's education, right? And Miss Brown said that you have to monitor what your child is doing on the device. Monitor what they are doing on devices, right? Parents, work is posted in Google Classroom every day. And it doesn't make sense you call a teacher and say, teacher, the child is not doing the work and I don't see any work. And what is happening in the class, teacher? Right. These are some things I am getting. Parents, Google Classroom doesn't tell lies. WhatsApp doesn't tell lies. Everything is posted there. Anytime you go there, you will see the work. And so you're going to tell me that, yes, I am working and I am busy. But when you come in the evening, just check Google Classroom. You don't know how to check it? Ask them. Mrs. Paul Richards says they are very smart. Ask them. Let them carry to Google Classroom. Look in their book. Don't let them tell you anything. Don't ask them anything. Just look in their book, see what is there, see what teacher posted, and then you will know for certain what is happening in Google Classroom. Another point that I would like to touch is communication. All right, so parents, we as teachers, we make ourselves available as we have our parents group and we on WhatsApp that you can communicate with us. Any problem, communicate with your teacher before you carry it down to school. We are well able and we are capable of dealing with certain situations before you call Mrs. Barnes-Wilson, right? Because Mrs. Barnes-Wilson is going to ask you, did you talk to teacher? So you need to talk to teacher, all right? So there is a certain procedures to go through in order before Mrs. Barnes-Wilson gets all of those challenges. You see, you have to talk to your teacher, then your grade coordinator, then you move from there if you are not justified. But I think that we're capable enough to handle grade 4 situation. Right, parents? Okay. So in concluding, let us continue to work together, right, to the best of our ability, because we believe that every child can learn, and every child must learn, and every child will learn. Thank you, parents. I now hand over back to Mr. Valentine. Mr. Valentines? All right. I'm not hearing Mr. Valentine's, not certain where he is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue. If there are any questions that you would like to ask, anything that is bothering you, anything that is there. I know that the Google form went out, and so I'm going to ask my able teachers who are there if there's any question there for us to answer.
Okay, Mrs. Cole, right? Some of the responses were just persons writing their names.
Ms. Brown? Anybody else is there?
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. Most of it was just parents writing their names, and there were some comments to the teachers.
Yes.
And I know one question was addressed to a particular teacher that I will have to pass on that question to for her to answer that one.
Okay.
And there is a question here. I'm not sure who is able to answer it. It says, will special uniform for the various clubs be available for sale?
Okay, as far as I know, when we were doing face-to-face, we had uniform, special uniform for different clubs. But coming now online, I'm not too certain, right? I would have to ask if it is important for them to wear uniform online. So I would have to get some more instructions on that. I don't know if Mrs. Paulichas or any one of my other teachers can say anything towards that. I'm not certain if Mrs. Barnes-Wilson or Mrs. Johnson or Miss Green, if anyone is around, any one of the VPs.
Mrs. Colray?
Mrs. Barnes-Wilson.
On my way home. Yes, was the question geared towards clubs and societies or school when we resume, if we resume face-to-face? Miss Brown, could you give me some clarity?
It's clubs.
Miss Brown, can you repeat the question, please?
Clubs and society? All right. So the option is there. The clubs and society leaders will indicate. It is such a wonderful thing, and it would be so beautiful to see the children in their gears for clubs and society. However, the children would have already been dressed in their uniforms for online school. Online school is now is also the requirement is for persons to be in their uniforms. All right. So the leaders will let them know whether or not they will be required to, but it would be such a good thing. So they will know for the next meeting that they have. All right.
Mrs. Wilson, Mrs. Colrane, Ms. Green here, might I add?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
For
Ms. Brown.
parents, as our principal has just explained,
in
in addition to that, we are aware that the children some of them were placed in new clubs. We have revamped the clubs, and so it is that some of them may not have that uniform at hand to wear. And so as our principal said, they would wear their uniform that they wear for regular class in the day. So we are not forcing them to wear the club uniforms, because they would now have to go and make that uniform. So when we return face to face, we will ensure that they get those gears. But for the online, now for this term, we will not pressure them for the uniforms if they don't have it already. All right. So they will dress normal as they would go for class. Over to you, Mrs. Colrane.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Green. Yes, thank you, Ms. Green. Are there any other questions, Ms. Brown?
There are actually 2 questions there that are directed to particular teachers. So I will just leave that so they can go and respond to those parents.
I don't know if it's my internet. I'm having a challenge.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah.
All right, so there are 2 questions, but they are directed to specific teachers that will have to answer that, as it is about particular children in their class. So they will have to speak to those parents when they look on the forms. And apart from that, it's just some comments about the teachers. Yes, some good comments so far, but that's it. Let me see if other questions are here.
Okay. Yeah, my internet.
Okay, Mrs. Colwright. A question just in.
No other question, Ms. Brown?
One question just came in. When will we return face to face?
Ms. Brown?
Question just in. When will we return face to face?
Well, the question is that no one is certain. We just have to keep listening to the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health. So as soon as we get information, then the information will be sent out. Let me hope that answers the questions. All right, any more questions, Ms. Brown?
And so that's it from the Google form. That's it from the Google form.
Any question in the chat? All right. Is Mr. Valentine's there? All right. Without further ado, let me thank our principal, vice principal, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders who spend this time with us. We are here for over 2 hours. Let me thank you for being with us. Let me thank you for your patience. And as we go forward, please remember the theme for Parent Month, and please remember that every child can learn and every child will learn. God bless you all. Thank you for coming.
Thank you too.
Thank you.